I have one of these.
Didn't think it'd be that way, but it
Can I have one of these whiskey tumblers?
Yeah, that's fine. We're live, and Taylor wants milk to go with his Valentine's Day snack cakes.
Yeah, what kinds are these? What are they?
Vanilla.
Alright.
They're not as good as the chocolate because vanilla's not as good as chocolate. But
That is untrue. That is lies and slander.
that is absolute truth.
I think it's a repeating cycle where someone does not believe enough in the power of vanilla. So they don't put enough love into their
Dude, I
vanilla
grew
products.
up with vanilla. I also grew up with chocolate.
Yeah, but have you ever had really good vanilla though? But, you know, the vanilla that's got like depth to it.
Yeah, chocolate is still better.
Okay. I'm saying that vanilla's an underrated flavor.
Look, man,
It's
you're
just-
entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
like
And my
a
opinion is that vanilla, it could never hold a candle to chocolate.
Vanilla
is the annoying childhood friend that chocolate can't get rid of. Vanilla is what wants to be chocolate. Vanilla is the no. I was gonna say the Voss to the Hoyt, but Voss is way cooler than Hoyt, so I guess it's more like the Voyt to the Huss. Or
Voyt to the Huss.
If you've seen
it's
the
someone named Voight and then Big Haas from.
That reference makes more sense if you've seen the symmetry theory breakdown between Jason and Voss and on YouTube, which is it's a good video. Go check it out. I don't know who it was.
I really
want
to see. I would love to see a Far Cry that has more of the theme of more of the themes of God of War. Well, where although you get into a bunch of fights, the main theme of the game is ending the cycle of violence. Because that's always, like, in Far Cry, that's always the gotcha, is that, like, by the end of your journey, you gotta do all the violence, and then you're not even, like, setting up something that might actually be, like, stable once you're done.
Well, I mean, I feel like Jason Brody's situation is a little justifiable on that, in the sense that, he just wants to get off the fucking island.
Yeah, he doesn't leave the island.
And then he doesn't, so then you have to make a choice. And then he dies anyway, so...
Oh, spoilers.
Well, I mean... Dude, that game came out in 2012.
Yeah, but everyone who saw the deal that we posted a couple episodes ago went and just got the game.
Look, man. I'll say this. If you didn't know the ending and I've spoiled it for you, I'm sorry. But I will leave you with this. It's the journey.
It's the journey.
Because I've known about the main points of Far Cry 3 for years and have just been waiting for a chance to play it. Knowing about the symmetry between Jason and Voss, knowing about Hoyt, knowing how he's going to die, doesn't take away from the experience for me. If anything, videos like the symmetry theory video that I just saw adds more to it as you play it, if you've seen that already, because you get more of an understanding of, like, the symbolism and the depth to it, and you have a better appreciation for it. And that's why I love videos like that.
Mm-hmm.
That said, dude, tell them your theory about the... Oh, I started playing Far Cry 5 with Taylor today, and also tell them about your dumb theory about Far Cry 5.
My volume is a little low. I don't hear the music, so let me just mess with that a bit.
Okay.
Alright. My theory about what?
Tell them about your theory about Far Cry 5, about the father.
Okay, so Far Cry 5, as y'all know, is all... the main antagonists are cult leaders somewhere in Hope County, Montana.
And it's possibly in the same universe as Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, yeah, Ubisoft has always had a theoretical, like, line between them.
I don't know if Ghost Recon would be in
and I say theoretical because technically the line, there's a direct line between Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed Origins specifically, where Origins is like, oh yeah, in Origins, one of, like, your, like, email things is like, oh yeah, there's one of the CEO of Abstergo just, like, went missing, and although it says that he never touched down in Chicago, we do have CCTV footage of what is thought to be his car.
Not in Chicago.
Not Chicago. What?
Watch Dogs 2 isn't in Chicago. That's the first one.
Sorry, not Chicago. Los Angeles. I think.
California. What is it?
Los Angeles.
Santa something?
Sacramento? No.
No.
San Andreas.
Some bay. It's like
Santa
a bay.
Prisca.
San Francisco Bay?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Francisco. That place.
Yeah,
wow.
San Francisco is California.
I was just gonna name off all of the big chunks of California until I got it right.
Tell them your theory.
Yeah, the part that's south of Oregon. California?
You got vanilla cake on your mustache.
Sorry about that. Right, so
like, Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed is canonically in the same universe, and Far Cry might be, but I don't know if you could spin Ghost Recon into that. And I'm not sure if you would want to either.
I don't know where Ghost Recon fits into it precisely. But, so, my concept is, what if, considering how powerful but also dumb the cult leaders are, now, after I saw the symmetry thing, I'm starting to think that Far Cry 5 is just sort of doing the same thing, where it's like, yes, the reason why they capture you multiple times but never kill you is because, like, they're not trying to. They want to, like, convert you or whatever. But, like, that's the funny thing. It's like, they killed, like, every other person in existence, but they're like, oh, yeah, well, we're gonna see if we can convert this, like, rando that's just part of the... You're literally the new guy in the group that they sent to issue the arrest warrant. So, like, you're not even, like, the deputy guy. You're the junior deputy.
Right.
But I was thinking about that, and I was like, there's one... my original theory was, I have this... an idea that maybe they're just, like... My best theory is that they're sort of like capricious gods or, like, old-timey precursors where they have enough power to, like, teleport around and stuff, but they're just not smart enough to actually, like, prevent themselves from just getting stabbed in the right situation. They're just not as clever as they think they are. But then I realized, wait a minute, I bet was it Joseph Seed? I bet the father, the guy who's, like, leading the whole bunch, what if he just got his hands on a precursor artifact, and that's how he, like, got a whole bunch of loyal followers? And I was like, yeah, he'd have some kind of, like, Assassin's Creed piece of Eden. And I just realized, yeah, this is an Ubisoft game.
Because it's Eden's Gate.
It's called Project Eden's Gate. So
that would be a great way to really cement.
Yeah, like, it would be so easy to justify. See, the one problem with that, though, is on one hand, it's nice to see the supernatural side of things. For instance, in Origins, you run into, like, a town and a half. Hello? What do you? Oh. I was
My sister was trying to ask me if I was streaming.
Yes. When we were, in Assassin's Creed Origins, you run into, like, a couple of towns that have been affected. They're in the aftermath of a piece of Eden, where everyone has just become completely obsessed with this one guy who sort of just went around waving his ball around and saying that he's the new, like, God King of the universe, and everyone's just like, all I can think about is him. And you see, like, kind of the sort of societal, like, absurdity that happens, that sort of arises from that, where, like, no one can get anything done.
Right.
But, like, it just wrecks everything. But I was thinking about that and how it got me thinking that I think on one hand, I like when you can get supernatural shenanigans because it's fun to, like, deal with those kind of problems. But on the other hand, I feel like one of the center themes of the Templars is them not getting any artifacts until the final act because of the lesson it teaches you. The Templars aren't like supervillains in that, like, in a world with superpowers, people get superpowers and then use them for villainy. They represent what already exists in the real world, which is just, like, people trying to monopolize entire, like, industries and generally, like, make the world a worse place. Like, it's, what's the word? Like, they're just an extension of that, except into a cabal of people looking for artifacts. Like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, they don't exist because an artifact exists. They would exist one way or another, but now they also are looking for superpowers. I feel like that's an important, like, distinction.
I like that in Far Cry 5, you're at least someone that you could believe might be able to go full Rambo throughout the game. Because instead of being just like a Jason Brody or an AJ Gale, you're like a deputy.
Yeah, you're actually
you're like law
went through some level
enforcement.
of
You're
training.
like, I have actual combat training. Although with Jason Brody, I feel like you could justify that with like, well, for one, his fighting style isn't that of someone who's been trained into the armed forces. It's just someone who's learned how to like be a predator on the island because of like magic tattoos and shit.
Yeah.
And insanity.
Well, they appear when he earns them.
AJ, what?
They appear when he earns them.
Yeah. You still have that snacking. Other
See,
side.
The tapestry
other
there on his
side.
skin is a record of victories he's won.
Yeah.
Hold on, that doesn't work.
Consider the coconut.
Look, consider the coconut.
I don't know what the deal. I don't know how you would justify it with AJ Gale because I have yet to play the 4th game.
Yeah, I honestly, like, if he spent all those days, like,
I mean, it's funny because like throughout the entirety of the Far Cry games, if you look at them as a whole, like with a lot of them, their combat abilities make sense because like Jack Carver is an ex-special agent.
1 and 2 were about mercenaries.
Yeah, and well, kind of. I don't think Jack Carver was a mercenary, but he was just ex-special agent that owned a boat shop, and then someone like
it was
hired...
a pasta shop,
Yeah.
but he sometimes rented out boats. It all comes together.
Yeah, but like he was hired by some lady to like act as his her bodyguard for some reason. I don't know. And then the second one was mercenaries. So in those situations, yeah, you could totally believe that these guys would have like battle abilities. But with Jason Brody, his style of fighting isn't that of like a trained agent or anything. It's just someone who's like been thrusted into a world where he has to like either adapt or die, and he adapts.
I've given you the power of the shark. What do sharks do? Apparently, they shoot people a lot.
Yeah, and also there's
Watch
like
out, the shark has a gun.
and also there's like an element of like magic and shit in there.
Yeah.
So with Jason Brody, it's
look, he went to the
you can
islands
justify it with Jason
and he
Brody.
took the strongest potions.
Yeah, of course. And in the 5th game, you're playing as a deputy, so of course he's got combat training. But I don't know about the 4th one. I don't know about AJ Gale. I don't know what the justification is for him.
I don't know that one either. I played it, but it was a while ago, and I don't remember.
I have not played it, and I really want
how
to.
many potions I needed to become the ultimate warrior.
Yeah, but yeah, it was funny because I was watching Honest Trailers, and he was like doing the Far Cry games, and he was like, "Welcome to these games. In these games, anyone can go from like full noob to full Rambo in like just a few minutes." And I was like, okay, most of the main characters are actually trained in some sort of way, and Jason Brody is like a hunter dude with magic. So
well, that's the funny thing. That Jason Brody is kind of like the kind of like Jedi justification sort of moment, where it's like, oh yeah, he shouldn't be able to do this, but I don't know.
But he can.
Like, cause like he's not even what's the word? That's
he's not even trained in how to use a gun. He's like, I've never shot a gun, and then he just buys a gun and starts shooting people, and he like knows how to reload and everything.
That's why that Far Cry thematically is like a desperate scramble. But going by what actually happens in the game, I think I proposed this in the last one, that in the game it should be more like John Wick, where you show up and you either show up and you're an unknown and they underestimate you, or you show up and they're like, oh no, we captured the wrong guy. Why didn't you, when you captured him, why didn't you shoot him in the head? We did that, it didn't work.
I catch bullets with my skull.
Dude, we shot him and the bullet ricocheted off and hit the guy next to me. This guy's a living curse on our existence. I saw him bite a snake and it died. I saw a mosquito try to suck his blood and it exploded. If a Komodo dragon bites his ankle, it gets sick. If sharks smell his blood in the water, they leave him alone.
Anyway, welcome back to Phoenix Wright.
He's about to step on a grave, it shifts to the side. Anyways, just more fuel for you. But yeah, like, man. I feel like that's how the end game should be. That like, by the start of the game, you're kind of like.
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Pieces of Eden.
No,
I definitely feel like Pieces of Eden should play it.
Yeah, but at the start of the game, you should be somewhat a noob. But as as the game keeps reminding you that you're at least, if you're not supernatural, you're supernaturally lucky. So that should at least play into a part where it's like, it's just one guy. It's like, yeah, but they got a whole bunch of weapons and they're really good at using all of them.
It's just Domino from Marvel.
Just basically, dude, what? Oh man, I'd play a Far Cry Domino.
Dude, I would too.
Why isn't Far Cry Domino a thing?
That should totally be a thing.
You'd be able to.
I mean, not like actual Domino from Marvel, but a Domino-esque character.
Oh no, that's what I was literally going for. Like, where you
want to put actual Domino in a Far Cry game. Dude, can you? Okay. What licensing issues would you have to go through for that?
Humor me for a moment. Like when you see stuff in front of you, when you got like the binoculars, you can like tag certain things that you'll be able to like manipulate with luck powers. I mean, having passive luck powers is really hard to get into a game sense, especially because it wouldn't be that interesting of a game. Like that's what happens during like cinematics.
Right.
But when you're actively using them, it would be like, oh, I'm gonna, I can make it that like. I can, just like in Arkham Knight, I can like cause certain guns to jam, and this spark plug thing will like pop out, and this will be much more likely to catch fire, that sort of thing.
Right.
And so as soon as you show up, just chaos ensues.
It's just one guy, or I guess girl in Domino's
Who came up with this character? Probably someone who couldn't draw feet.
Wait, who was that? That wasn't Liefeld, was it?
Yeah, Liefeld.
It was.
I don't know if Liefeld came up. I'm pretty sure that was the joke. I don't know if Liefeld came up with Domino, but that's the joke. Is that Rob Liefeld?
I know he came up with Deadpool and Cable.
Yeah.
Which, Liefeld, if you ever see this, thank you for giving us Deadpool and Cable. They're two of the best comic book characters that exist right now. That said, please stop trying to write comic books.
I'm just imagining.
Stop drawing characters. Stop drawing characters with so many pouches. You don't need
they call
that
him
many pouches.
The pouch, and he's just pouches.
He's just pouches.
I've already seen that.
Like,
So, in our last episode of Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
I mean, if you could get better at writing, that'd be cool.
What?
But no, if you could like get better at writing, that'd be cool. I'm not saying give up on your dream, but like improve upon it, I guess.
The last episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney.
I'm trying to be as like positive
we
with
finally,
this.
Yes, we finally
this
established
as possible.
Yeah, pursue your dreams.
Yeah,
Thanks.
pursue your dreams and like improve upon them somehow if you can. I don't know.
In the last episode, we finally put the pieces together for why the gun said it was fired 3 times, because there was 3 shots, one before midnight and 2 after.
Hey, chill on that for a minute.
Oh.
That being said, Liefeld, you can pursue your dreams, but Zack Snyder, I gotta ask that you stop making superhero movies. Please.
I feel like...
Just stop.
Do you ever wonder if he's just one of those people who, like, ended up that way because, like, he ended up in a position of power and, like, no one questioned him? You know, like, he rolls in... Like, imagine he like, showed up to... He had to have gone to the editing folks and been like, oh, I want this as dark and gritty as possible. And they're like, oh, so, like this? And they're like, no, less color. Less. Nope, that's still too much color. Like, how much direction was involved to make... every little bit of his movie is a little weird, like not quite fit. Have you ever seen the on-set pictures of the costumes? They're so much better because they're just taken with a regular camera and they're not desaturated. They had to desaturate everything in post just to get it looking gray enough.
His definitive version of Batman is one who kills. That's what annoys me most about Zack Snyder.
Yes.
Everyone's like, no, that's not Batman. And he's like, well, yes, it is. And we're like, no, it's not.
Here's my thing.
He's like one of those Templar guys who like gets killed at the end and is like, oh, I was right anyway. Blah. No, you weren't.
It's just comic book readers. And then the Templar, and it's Zack Snyder's film career, and it's like, I told you this madness would come to an end, and then Zack Snyder's film career, I was always right. Watch the Snyder Cut.
It's so bad.
You know what's funny? I don't support like the Snyder cut because I think it'll be good. I want it to exist just to see how different it is in like just on principle. Like it would be interesting to see if anything new popped out of it.
Part of me wants to ask, well, given how bad Justice League already is, can it get any worse? But the other part of me is like, well, it's Zack Snyder, so probably yeah.
Can I get back to Ace Attorney?
Yeah, you can get back to Ace Attorney. Sorry, I needed to get that off my chest.
My only regret is not curing my vanitis. In the last episode, we established the 3 gunshots, and there's part of this that my brain isn't putting together, because there's supposed to be a there was an elevator, and in the olden days there was an elevator. It had hey Jackie boy, it had 3 people on it. It had Edgeworth, Mr. Edgeworth, that's his dad, I think.
Gregory.
Greggy Edge, Greg the Egg Edgeworth.
What is Von Karmer's name? I forgot. I mean,
Manfred,
his first...
I think.
Manfred? I'm gonna look that up.
I think it's Manfred.
Oh wait, it's probably here.
And another person. I don't know if we even have them on file.
It is Manfred.
Okay, so we have the mysterious third person who shot his dad, but doesn't because of the whole like not having an oxygen in there. No one remembers why, and he got acquitted by bring up the people again. He got acquitted by the guy. He looks kind of like a priest from the distance. Yeah. No, to the bro, you went way too far. Come on, Robert, stop. Yeah.
This guy?
That's Misty Faye. Robert Hammond.
This guy.
Don't be playing games. So, here's the thing. He keeps popping up, but he was the defense attorney in the Deus Ex incident, not the person who got out.
Look like a
so,
priest.
Here's my thought. What if the attacker was actually the old man, that he somehow because I had this theory where the old man, he doesn't have like Alzheimer's, he actually just has the effects, long-term effects of apoxia, where it just didn't get enough air to his brain, and then it kind of messed up his ability to store memories. But basically, I was thinking, well, what if the old guy was the attacker?
Oh, wow. Excuse me,
both
please.
in the olden days and now. And then I was like, but then why would he shoot the lawyer that helped him? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know. What I do know is, that night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop.
Yeah, he would have had the opportunity. The real question is why.
This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot that Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. Hammond. He became Robert
Stop.
Hammond.
Hammond time. Glad I could get you with that one. Okay, so we're following the steps. So, because there's a meeting set up between Hammond and Edgeworth, possibly to like make amends for helping the guy who killed his dad get away.
Did the thing with the stuff in the gun and
okay, hold on. So there's a meeting between Hammond and Edgeworth. Edgeworth doesn't know really what Hammond looks like at this point. So basically the assumption is the old guy shoots Hammond out at the boat shop at 11:50, puts on his coat and stuff, pretends to be him, hops on the boat, and then meets with Edgeworth.
Right.
Wait a minute, why didn't we just ask Edgeworth what the guy looked like?
You know, we should do
that. Like, does it look like this old man?
Does this old man look like Robert Hammond to you?
Because if he could, you'd think he'd be like, wait a minute, didn't look like the old picture we have of Hammond. Yeah, he didn't look like that at all. He had like a bushy beard, and he kept wearing this orange hat and falling asleep.
Right. Then he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake.
Then who fired the pistol on the boat, Mr. Wright?
The boat shop caretaker, or is not? It wasn't Edgeworth.
I think it comes down to the boat shop caretaker. It doesn't make sense why, but
yeah. Of course, it was the murder. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. Should have done some vocal exercises. Of course, it was the murderer who shot this pistol. He shot twice. Both missed Edgeworth on purpose.
Wait a minute. Because he was trying to frame someone. I don't know why, but
why would he shoot twice?
That's my line.
Oh, right.
What are you doing?
Sorry, I forgot who I was for a minute.
The court would like to remind Mr. Wright that one must check themselves before they wreck themselves. Why would he shoot twice if he didn't mean to hit anyone? He shot, and then he missed. And he shot,
and then I fired, and then I missed. Don't sass me, I'll take a swing at you. I'll miss, though. I guarantee it.
Hello?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, and you're Von... probably.
Oh, yeah, I'm Von Karma. No less, Mr. Wright. What the hell is that?
When it comes from the gut, you gotta...
push it out. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. Because the first shot missed. To create a witness?
I'm gonna say because the first shot missed.
But because the first shot missed.
Missed?
Missed. Yeah, he was aiming for Edgeworth and he missed. That logic doesn't hold up.
Okay, maybe not.
Well, what are you...
Are you gonna explode a couple of my blue bars again? Oh, yep. No!
There goes. What are you saying? Did you not just tell us that he missed Edgeworth on purpose? Huh? Oh, right. Uh-oh.
Game Master, I'd like to cast Gift of Gab and just undo that.
I'd like to play the Scapegoat card. There's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference for me. I play the Scapegoat, so now Scapegoat's gone, but I'm okay. I think that's how the Scapegoat works.
That's probably... I mean, that's how I imagine a card called Scapegoat would work.
That's how I remember it working when I was a kid, but I was also a kid and barely had any real understanding of how any of that shit worked.
Did you? No one's ever summoned those cards before because they're super rare. No, because no one could figure out how to do it in game.
Uh-oh, I better figure out just what it is I'm trying to prove here. I believe he shot twice to create a witness, Your Honor. So it was to create a witness.
To create a witness, you say?
To create a witness? The murderer...
To create a witness.
create a witness.
You looked at me and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
you're doing a thing."
You didn't get it. I was trying to do. That was my best Big Boss impersonation. Yeah, Metal Gear.
Baby Snake, huh?
Yeah, Snake. Oh, the snake tastes like snake.
It's a baby snake.
Oh, baby snake is delicious. Dude, in Big Boss, in the very last fight where you're fighting the boss, which is one of the most tragic boss fights in gaming history, let me tell you. But, you can actually, like, collect 3 snakes, like, during that boss fight in the grass. Yeah. Each one of them is called, like, each one of them is, like, based off of who would become Big Boss's 3 sons, like, later in the future. Solid Snake and Liquid Snake and Solidus.
I thought they'd be named, like, after the Fates or some other group of 3.
George Sears.
Mark Zuckerberg. Aaron Hansen. Just in all caps.
Dude.
You want to tell what we're...
Yeah, that was from Game Grumps. It was this
no, do you want to tell the story, what we're up to before the stream?
What were we up to?
We're playing Far Cry 5.
Oh yeah, we were playing Far Cry 5.
And you read a quote and you're like... That quote isn't particularly interesting or telling.
Yeah, so there was a quote, and it was like, it was the loading screen, right? And it's the father, and it's like a quote of his, and it's like, something's coming. You can feel it, can't you? The father. It was like a quote, and I was like, is that really a quote-worthy bit of dialogue? And then we just started coming up with like nonsensical quotes.
Wait, guac is extra? The father.
The father.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Aaron Hansen. Then I fired, and then I missed.
Shut the door, I'm trying to poop. The father.
I'll take a swing at you. I'll miss, though. I guarantee it. Dan Abaddon.
You know, that's one thing that I don't think they establish in the game, but
I think
it would...
that was Dan.
What?
I think that was Dan.
One thing that would, I feel like, would fall together really well is they should really make it that, like, that the big boss that you fight doesn't actually have, like, a ton of health or skills, that they end up being kind of like a Mysterio, where you have to fight, like, an army to get to them, but when you actually fight them, they're just not used to fighting because they've gotten kind of rusty, or they never actually like did fighting in the first place.
That would be interesting, but my favorite bosses are the ones that you don't expect would ever get their own hands dirty, but turn out to be pretty adept at fighting.
I mean, on one hand, I like that. On the other hand, I really like that concept where it's like some of the most powerful bad guys, like in fiction and reality, like just at the end of the day, they're so used to just fighting people who have, like, no power over them that when they fight someone with actual experience, they just suck.
Yeah, well, that was one of my favorite things about Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. Not what you're saying, the other thing, where he was actually adept at it. Because, well, adept might be a strong word. But basically, what I liked about Handsome Jack in Borderlands 2
Well, he got to level 50 or whatever, right? Or is that before this?
Wait,
or after this?
Oh, no, Borderlands 2. I'm talking about Borderlands 2, not Borderlands 3.
So what level was he at that point?
Oh, what level was Jack?
Yeah, what level would he have been then?
I don't know, he's probably maxed out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it is towards the end of the game, but I don't think it's really possible for you to be maxed out by the end of the game, because I did all the side missions and shit, so maybe not. I don't fucking know, man. No, but what I liked about Handsome Jack was that throughout the game, he doesn't really feel like a villain. He just kind of feels like an annoying douchebag that's like, hey, I'm taunting you. I got a pony made out of diamonds. His name is Bud Stallion. These pretzels suck. I'm gonna kill you, okay? I'm gonna kill you at some point. Like, throughout a big chunk of the game, he doesn't feel like a serious threat. He's just like this annoying douchebag. And then his daughter dies, and then, like, his whole tone changes. He's like, well, you killed my daughter, and now shit gets real. And then, like after the whole thing with Angel, you think that the day is won. Lilith and, like, Roland are there, and it's like, yeah, it's great. Now we're gonna get more shit. And then Jack just shows up out of nowhere, stabs Roland in the back, pushes him aside. Lilith tries to attack him, and he just, like, throws a collar on her that, like, cancels out of power. It's like, hey, I'm serious now. I'm, like, actually threat level now.
Huh.
Like, because throughout the game, you don't see that being something that he would do, because, like, some of the characters make a point that he's not someone who ever gets his own hands dirty, like, throughout the game. And then he pops up like,
but he has
yeah,
been, but
no,
it turns out
I
he's
do
been doing,
get my hands dirty.
Turns out he's been doing side quests this whole time. He's really good at delivering burgers.
It's like, yeah, I can get my hands dirty. I just prefer not to. But you killed my sister, so here's a collar.
Look, when it comes to, like, delivering burgers or flying RC planes, golfing, tennis, he's all over that.
But yeah, that's one of the things, in my opinion, that makes Jack such a, like, a good villain.
I just realized that,
and he's just funny. He's just funny. Like some of the bits of dialogue he has were, like, straight up improvised by the voice actor. Like, there was a point where they were like, just make some shit up, and he was like, okay, how's your day going?
I have a diamond horse called Butt Stallion.
How's your day going? Oh, these pretzels suck. I got a pony made out of diamonds.
I spent it all on gambling.
Spent it all on gambling. Aaron Hansen.
All right. Caroline.
But yeah, the murderer. The murderer left.
He left. Do you
Take three.
Do you want me to read it, Mr.
No,
Finn?
I got it. I got it.
Nick, please.
Maya, shut up. Maya, shh, you repeat things too much.
I repeat things too much. She said, "What was the question mark? Like, how dare you?"
The murderer lifts his pistol and fires one shot.
But he missed.
Fight again, missed again. Had a popsicle, took a nap in the snow. That ensures that anyone who heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Miss Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot.
Ooh.
Next, the murderer waits a bit and he fires again. Then,
Yoink.
yoink. The murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him.
I see.
Suddenly, I see
This is what I want to be.
a judge.
I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
I could see all obstacles in my way.
There's a bunch of hurdles in this courtroom for some reason.
One of my
Put
favorite.
this traffic cone here.
Did you ever watch Far Far Away Idol? And the Shrek 2? It was like on the DVD extras.
I think I did.
It was like American Idol.
I feel like that's something I would have seen.
But the only characters that were allowed to actually win were Shrek and Fiona, Donkey and Puss. If you voted for anyone else, Simon Cowell would be like, "Nope, it's me, everyone. For what is a man?" And then he just starts singing Sinatra.
Oh.
But yeah. One of my favorite bits there was when there was the three blind mice singing, "We can see clearly now, the rain has gone," and then they like bump into each other and fall down.
Oh no.
And then like Shrek and Fiona and Simon Cowell, "Hey, get out of that milk!"
That's water and...
Get out of that
you're
water.
Right. Hey, you can't have that.
Buddy the kitten is getting the Taylor's water. But yeah.
I need a different,
Yeah, then
Oh my
like
God.
Simon Cowell and Shrek and Fiona all do like one of those each do like one of the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil things.
Yeah. Oh, I shouldn't use these.
That was pretty funny. Waiting for you to get back and read your line.
I'll do that when I get some water. Okay, let me see.
Judge is in the middle of getting water right now.
I'm getting some water. Calm. Cease the calamities in your memories.
Akunia tatas.
To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men of the boat had shot the other.
The murderer didn't know about the automatic camera, of course. That's why he shot twice, to draw attention to the boat. Oh, excuse me. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop. Then he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body and threw the body into the lake.
Oh, yeah.
This is what happened, Your Honor. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake.
Bailiff, bring out the witness from before. Did he look like this guy or this other guy? Like, imagine. Oh, that would have been over so
well, maybe
quickly.
he couldn't tell because it was dark.
Yeah, but like, the difference being that like I don't think we ever got a picture of modern Hammond. I think we got a picture of, or I don't know. He was like clean shaven compared to the other guy who had like a full like judge level beard.
Yeah.
So that would have been a key trait.
Man, as far as beards go, the judge could really give Kratos a run for his money.
How do we know this isn't Kratos?
Maybe it is. He got tired of the violence and came here and was like, "I'm gonna just be a court judge now."
He
He discovered he had a passion for law.
Nah, because he's got the beard for it, but the thing is, the judge, he may have limited lines, but he doesn't have so limited lines as Kratos himself. Like, Kratos really is the definition of, like, being Spartan with one's words. Like, the reason why the term laconic refers to Spartans is that apparently they didn't talk much, and that's basically him.
Yeah, but like also people change, especially when they
True.
live for like billions and trillions of years.
That's a lot more years than I was expecting, but yeah.
I mean, you really
Yeah,
think
maybe.
Kratos isn't like centuries old by the events of the new God of War?
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, huh? Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I
Just like he's probably like a fable from Fables.
You know what's funny about God of War? Not once did they refer to Tyr, the Norse god of war, as the god of war.
Yeah, it did.
I think.
I remember specifically Kratos talking about it at one point. I think he was talking to Atreus, and he was like, "Who's Tyr?" And he was like, "He was a god of war of this realm, or something like that."
Oh. Maybe once.
Like they
then.
talked a lot about Tyr in that game.
I know they talked a ton about Tyr, but as in, like, the gods were always gods, not gods of a specific thing. You know, like it was more like a god existed and had a handful of jobs.
I'm pretty sure Kratos explained that to Atreus at one point when you're like rowing the boat.
No, because I don't know. I feel like nah.
Or
Someone will have to let me know about that.
I feel like he did. I will say this: I like the fact that the newest God of War game continues the tradition of carrying a decapitated head throughout the entire game, but this time makes him like a chatty, fun dude. Yeah, this time he's your friend.
Man, it's layers within layers. It's
Every
parallels.
God of War
it's poetry.
game, you're carrying a freaking decapitated head. I don't know if that's in the PSP games too. I haven't played them yet. Oddly enough, I do have them on the PS3 remastered. I just haven't played them yet. But
the boat shop caretaker or the spaghetti shop, whatever. Quickly, please.
Bready, golden spaghetti. Gets all the girls and made them wetty
by throwing them into the lake.
Sure.
I just thought you were gonna have a more positive reaction.
I mean, well,
they had been yoked into the lake.
There was like a process of mixed emotions going through my head when you saw that. At first,
I could see you fiddling with the clutch of your brain.
Yeah. The gerbil in the wheel is just like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Gerbil just gets out, takes a drink of water.
Very just well. Like sits for a minute. Is like.
While we're waiting for the caretaker, let's do a 5-minute recess, and then we all get back here, and he'll be waiting a while. I don't know.
The gerbil then goes into the gerbil's brain, and inside the gerbil's brain, there's like.
Now I'm imagining
I don't know, a mouse or something.
No, now I'm imagining like a mouse. Yeah, like a guinea pig brain. It's got like a tiny man running in it. Yeah. That'd be a weird gag, but it could work.
Barry, edit that in.
Hold on, what's wrong with your engine? Pops open the hood. There's a bunch of like tiny men in here. You weren't supposed to see this.
Oh no.
All right, very well. While we're waiting for the caretaker, I would like to ask the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, a few questions. Mr. Edgeworth, please take the stand. Hey.
What's up, Edgy boy?
Mr. Edgeworth, you heard what the defense has said? Yes. Well, why did you go to the lake that night? What Wright has said was mostly correct. Astonishingly so, actually. Yes.
Astonishing?
Several days ago, I received a letter.
Astonishingly? What the fuck does that mean, Edgy boy?
Please stop interrupting the witness.
Look, I'm just saying. It seems like a weird, almost insulting thing to say.
Several days ago, I received a letter. The letter was signed Robert Hammond. He asked me to come to the boat shop by the lake at midnight on Christmas Eve.
Wanted to record a music video about being on a boat and fucking a mermaid or some shit, I don't know.
It's about being on a boat on Christmas Eve, and it's a weirdly specific song. It had a lot of chorus to it.
There's your Lonely Island reference. Check that off your bingo card.
Great. That's a B-side.
Yeah.
He said he had something very important to discuss with me. Something important, you say? Don't. See Mr. Wright reeling up for another... I'm sorry, I can't say what it was. We don't have a voice for the bailiff, do we?
No, yeah. Do you think they're a man or a woman?
I don't know.
I'm going to pretend they're a woman.
Oh, it's just Oldbank. She got a new job. Your Honor, sir. Bailiff, we're conducting a trial here. I ask that you remain quiet. The witness has disappeared. He isn't at the boat shop either. What? Oh, snap, Crackle
no.
Pops. Just looks down. Judge looks down at his phone. Another text from Clown. You got a new job. Bye.
You waited too long. You're on your own now. We're gonna go rob a bank.
Let's go to rob a bank with some other guy.
Go to rob a bank with some dude named Trevor. Should be fun.
What? No, he was with the old guy. The old guy has the clown as the getaway driver.
No, I was thinking like Trevor from Phillips.
Yeah,
like they're on the same crew. Like,
oh, okay, yeah.
What I'm saying is, if the clown character existed in GTA, you know he'd be contacted Trevor's phone, and you know that in this situation, Trevor would be like, "Hey, you want to rob a bank?" And he'd just be like, "Well, this shit ain't happening. Sure."
What should I do? Find him quickly. We cannot allow him to get away. Why, that bulldozer moves at a whopping 25 miles an hour.
Can't be that hard to catch.
Mr. Von Karma, your witness has disappeared. I didn't think I'd ever say that line.
A search warrant has already been issued.
Did you know that with your psychic powers, or?
Yeah. Yes. Look, I'm not saying I'm a vampire, but I have psychic powers.
Well, he's definitely got some, yeah.
But I definitely have vampire powers. Just gets to like.
Well, that's how he had control of the judge. He kept hypnotizing him.
Yeah.
His vampire powers.
That all comes full circle. No, it's like in Archer when the CIA shows up, and it's like, what else is like, I invited him in, and he's like, yeah, and you know, once we're in, we are in. Not unlike vampires. And Archer's like, see.
I told you it was a lot like vampires. Yeah. Man, in What We Do in the Shadows, the trouble, one of the big troubles of being a vampire is, imagine this, in a world where vampires are just like bopping around in the world. What their specific vulnerabilities are vastly changes how they get around. But what I didn't realize is the subtle one of if they can only enter a building, not just a home, but a building if invited in, because like that makes it really hard to go to any nightclubs, because you have to like argue with the person in the front and be like, no, could you invite me in?
Right. What? Yeah, that.
Which is why there's like one vampire bar in New Zealand.
Look, man, if you ever come across someone who has to ask you to invite them in, your answer better be nope.
There was a worker. There was a what is it? Subversion of that trope. I forgot what movie it was, where they're like, oh, the vampires, they can't get in, and so to get around it, the vampire started a fire to just burn down the house, because if there's no house, there's no house.
Huh.
And I'm like, well, I guess that would also probably kill them too, but sure. Like if there's enough wall missing, it loses its house aura.
Right.
It goes without saying that I cannot declare a verdict under these circumstances. I will extend the trial until tomorrow, the final day allowed. Oh, that's good timing. I request that the police department utilize all its forces to find that witness. You know what I'm talking about. We got the metal detector. We got the Shiba Inu. We got the... What was the other one?
Hang on. It was, what was it? It was metal detector, dog. Fishing pole.
Fishing pole.
Yeah.
And the fishing pole. All three of the mighty tools at a disposable.
Just gets to, like, Far Cry 5, you're just bopping people with your fishing pole.
Dude, I wish they would let you use the fishing pole for other stuff. I don't know what you would use it for, just that I wish that it at least had, like, an Easter egg, kind of like in, like, Legend of Zelda, where, like, if you dropped it near, like, a piranha-like monster, it would try to bite the lure, but it couldn't. Like, it would still approach it, though.
Huh.
And some speedrunners figured out that you could use it to distract Ganondorf, because if in the middle of like a combo, if you pulled out the fishing pole, he would just stare at it. It's just super weird.
Ganondorf is easily distracted.
It was Twilight Princess. It was the one that did that, I think.
That's awesome.
Am I understood? One more thing. Just who is that boat shop caretaker? I think his identity has become very important to this trial. You know, it's kind of amazing that they just didn't need an identity for a witness.
Yeah.
On one hand, I'm like, do you need like the full transcript and stuff? But the fact that like they didn't even have like a name, like not even a fake name to go on. I want him, and I want to know who he is.
Yeah.
Very well. Court is adjourned.
What do you got to say about that, Von
I'm sending my
Karma?
best agent, and it's just Hobbs from Fast Five, except he's got all the power of the DEA and a Shiba Inu and a fishing rod,
lots of baby oil,
metal detector, and like 50 gallons of baby oil to stay constantly sparkly.
December 27, 122 PIM particle.
The thing that you need a little steam there, bud.
Nah.
A little low on steam there.
727, 122 PIM.
You just
particle.
did it.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to do it with more steam.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, you ruined it now.
Okay. Can you do it? Can you do it as if you're announcing a bunch of horses in a race?
727, 122 PIM, District Court, Defendant Lowy, no, not 2.
Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, you did it.
Yeah.
I don't think Maya had many lines this time.
No.
Nah. She's just playing cookie clicker.
Yeah, I mean, if she did have more lines, it would probably have just been a lot
The
of
same
repeating
lines.
stuff.
Yeah, I feel like that's okay.
Well,
like Maya, this last chapter I've been like, interesting, but as far as Maya goes, if I were Maya, I would just be back there on my phone.
yeah.
Well, at least we got out from under that guilty verdict.
And what about Larry? That was and what about sorry? And what about Larry? That was something else.
Yeah, we owe him a hug.
Even Von Karma didn't know what to do with his testimony. Larry really helped us out.
Yep. Sure, once I sifted through his unique testimony. Still, he did save us. I
He's
just
like
wish
the
our...
character I built for that RPG where he only knows one martial art, and it's one that's not known by anyone, including himself.
I just wish our cases weren't so down to the wire all the time.
I know what you mean. Yeah, they imagine just wow, that mystery was real quick.
Yeah, I hope that like in the other two games, there's in at least one of them, there's at least like just a couple of filler stuff where he's just like working a non-crazy case.
I was thinking the opposite, where it seems like it's filler, but it links back up to the case, where like where you're in a trial and you're just going through the motions, and someone is like declared guilty for something basic, but then the next trial, it's like that person's like higher up, like their lieutenant in the mob or something.
Yeah.
And that because you didn't have evidence of who was orchestrating it, you couldn't like figure out like how it all connects. Now you already have like a file on one of the guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel it's like it's us on trial instead of our clients. I think both of us have been on trial at this point. You were on trial for a big chunk.
Dude, that's right!
And I was on like a micro trial because
Yeah!
someone decided that they would accuse me in the
we
middle of
a
trial.
Yeah, we were both accused of murder.
Which is funny because like is there a lawyer version of double immunity where it's like you can't be put on trial while you're already conducting a trial? Or something? I don't.
Should that exist?
Well, I don't know how I think it traditionally works where you can't be on trial for two different things at the same time. Like basically they can't prosecute you until they're done with like a different thing, unless it's like a collection of related crimes.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know precisely how it works.
I don't know either. Hey, Edgeworth, you doing anything on Friday?
I'm never doing anything at any time.
Would you like to?
Yeah, but I'll have to bring some soil from my homeland. No particular reason.
Wait, what?
I need to put it in my shoe.
Okay. I guess.
Mr. Edgeworth? Exclamation. Did you say something? Don't look so pained. I mean, it looks like you're probably going to get off the hook. You could, try to smile a little, relax. I'm sorry. But I fear it's not over for me yet.
But what do you mean?
Right. There's something that's been troubling me for a long time now. I don't know whether or not to tell you.
Edgeworth?
No, there's... Oh, okay, here's my guess.
Take your guesses now, people.
Okay, so Edgeworth, his dad, and the other guy were in the elevator. It gets dark or whatever, and they're in there for a while. After a while, they get all loopy, and it's actually Edgeworth gets his hands on the other guy's gun and is just playing with it, accidentally shoots his dad. They all, like, pass out.
Oh, shit.
Nobody remembers what happened. Well, the guy with the apoxia says he doesn't remember what happened, protecting Edgeworth, and Edgeworth doesn't want to remember what happened.
Yeah.
The trick is figure out how he would, like, get his hands on the guy's gun, but still.
Yeah. Did you read that?
There's so little time left.
When you run out of time, then where does it go?
Is time even real? Does anyone know? We gotta do that gag more.
Yeah, we do.
I want to tell you, but to get it off of my chest, but I can't make up my mind. Let's go get some yogurt or something.
Oh my god, just tell me.
Let's just go get some yogurt. We'll talk about it.
Let's go get some froyo. There's this great froyo place.
He was gonna admit that he was some kind of vampire bloodlines.
Von Karma made me vampire.
Yeah, that checks out.
What is this about, Edgeworth? Hey, Edgeworth, just so you know, if you are a vampire, I'll have no problem inviting you into my home whenever, any time of the day or
any
night.
time of the night.
Yeah, night, I guess. Unless you're like a la carte from Helsing level powerful, where sunlight just doesn't affect you because you're so powerful.
Here's the thing. If I turn out to be right about this, I'd really like someone to make like a compilation. Keep in mind, when I'm like reading the strategy guides and stuff, I read like one scene ahead. Like, as in like you know from like the previous episode where I had to like flip pages to get to the next bit of dialogue.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what's going on at this point. So I've never done a guess where I actually knew what was going to happen. So I really want someone to like make a compilation of every time I've made a guess on what's gonna happen and if it did or didn't, just to see how many were on and then like how many just like went way off the rails.
Right.
Look, it was Gordy. It was Gordy the whole time. I like that it was Wright that she was actually a cryptozoologist, that she was out there looking for Gordy.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Like it all came together, and then Gumshoe shows up. It's a nightmare I've had. A memory of a crime. Dang it, Edgeworth! I didn't want to be right.
A crime.
I like this game because it makes me feel smart.
Yeah. A crime you committed?
A memory of a murder.
Oh! Dude, it just does like those little flash shots between like Phoenix and Maya, and then like Larry for some reason.
Oh yeah.
It's like
Phoenix, Miles. Larry, he's just washing his hands in the bathroom. He just like in the court restroom, and he's just turns around.
Hell yeah, I would have saved my progress.
Wow, is it only 9? Man, we got plenty of time. It's because this was like the very tail end of Turnabout Good, well, sort of the tail end, not the tail end of Turnabout Goodbyes.
I think this is going to be the last part.
Yeah, this is, I think, as in this is definitely the third act, because when you think about it, you got 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to be roughly spaced out into those kind of acts, and I think this will be actually the final act.
It's starting to feel a little endgame to me. Wait, have all of the trials been like in 3 acts?
Well, every trial has not in 3 acts, but every trial is supposed to take like 3 days, and every
I don't think the first one did. The first one
yeah, I
was
think the
just
first
like
one
a
was
sort of
fairly
tutorial, but
straightforward.
like.
But yeah, what I mean is that it's not like they're divided precisely into those days, but like by the third day, you know that you should be near the end of the second act.
Right, right. December 27th, 2:11 p.m. Bright and Cola offices.
How did you know I was Spider-Man if he was blind? I love those little Easter eggs in Spider-Man PS4.
Man, if Spider-Man PS4 doesn't exist and the Avengers game that is like
I'm gonna
coming
be so
up,
sad.
it's gonna be very sad. Because Spider-Man goes out of his way to like make sure, yes, these characters do exist in this world.
It put the work in, you know. It had so much character.
It set up so much to start off like a shared universe type thing.
It's got all the beans and carrots in there.
It's got all the bits and pieces in there. It's got everything ready to make a shared universe.
Yeah, like it had a good Spidersman. It had like a good supporting cast. It had some really fun voice acting. It had a J. Jonah Jameson that like I could see as his own J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
Because most of the time when I'm like, oh, this is or isn't J.K. Simmons, but then it was like, no, I can believe that this guy is J.J. Like he's just got it. He's got it down.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that. What was Mr. Edgeworth talking about? Oh, I bet you could go into like the IMDb of their credits or something. That's how some people figure out who's gonna show up and see if there's the name of the guy who did the voice acting for Spider-Man in that game.
Oh yeah.
That's how you do the sneaky way.
Spider-Man even gonna show up in the Avengers game though?
I don't know, but as in if his voice showed up, it would be like something.
Well,
because at least he'd be in like a what is it? Voice recording box thing on voice recording box. It's answering machine at Stark Labs where it's like, hey Tony, did you get my email? just checking.
Say an email.
I got something I really want to show you. It's really cool, and it's just, you remember that time when you said that the Iron Man suit was like a prosthetic? Well, I got this breakthrough in actual prosthetics, and you really need to check it out. A memory. Wait, I read that.
Oh, did you?
Memory of a crime that I committed.
Oh yeah, this is a flashback. Because
right, because we started the
yeah.
This would have been a good flashback if this is when we started the episode. A memory of murder.
That sounds like a fucking screenplay right there. Dude, wait, doesn't Spider-Man at some point in the PS4 game say something about the Avengers being, like, off on something? Or something?
I mean, all we know is that the Avengers are definitely doing something else.
What if the Avengers game is that something else? Huh?
Yeah. Dude, you know it'd be real awesome? If in the Avengers game they're like, hey, you know how we got more of the video game rights than the movie rights and stuff? Hey, we're just gonna add Doctor Doom to this one. That would just that'd be so good. Well, it still baffles me that they had such a good design for Taskmaster from the Spider-Man PS4. Like that was such a great like adaptation of like the earlier costumes.
Yeah.
And somehow they got it wrong in the upcoming Black Widow movie. Like I've seen him in trailers where like his the skull thing on his mask is just barely there. It's like when you're adjusting the brightness settings on the video game. And it's like, no, the skull part should be like key to the outfit. Like I like is it weird that I want Taskmaster to be obviously Taskmaster, like even like
no, yeah.
I mean, he could be stealthy, but when he's being stealthy,
no, it's not weird. Yes, they should do that.
I don't know. I just wanna see him do all the Taskmaster stuff. Just his whole thing is just like continually using all the abilities that he's seen. His only weakness is that he can't use abilities that he doesn't actually have the ability to do. So like he can't do like a tail whip or a or like flying around. He can't like do a forearm chop thing if he doesn't have forearms.
You know what's weird?
Tail whips.
I can only think of like one Fantastic Four game that's existed.
I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, it was based on the movie. Go figure.
Huh.
And what's funny is that I never saw the original Fantastic Four movie, but I played the game that was based on it.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you learn?
Well, as a kid, it was entertaining enough, but I don't think it would hold up if I played it now.
Like
Look.
Oh, I didn't say this on the show before, I don't think. But there was an Incredible Hulk game that I played. I think it was like
I played that
or
too.
Something.
I didn't get very far.
And I remember there was a part in like the
Controller down! Controller down! Mic disconnected! Come back, Taylor! Don't go towards the orange light. I mean, I can hear you, but I don't have... Your voice doesn't come through my headset, so...
Right, it was, right, the Incredible Hulk game. And there was like a director commentary mode thing where it told you like about like the creation of the game. And I remember how they were like, oh yeah, we were really, really happy that we got this one effect where when you punch a wall, it generates the piece.
You didn't close the cabinet. Wait, well now who? Yes, you did, because you got that
Oh, I think I did.
glass of milk.
Yeah, but...
Those glasses are in the cabinet that was left open. Ergo.
So weird. When I went back in there while I was washing my hands, I didn't close it because I was like, oh, someone left this open.
So why wouldn't you just close it anyway? Is it like
it has some kind of purpose?
Oh. I thought it was more like a I didn't open it, so I'm not closing it type situation.
I can disrupt the natural order of this kitchen. You seem to think that the kitchen is a natural state, when the natural state of the kitchen is chaos.
Dude, I want a good Fantastic Four game.
Let me finish my thing. So, the director, our director, or something like that, was really proud of how they made this script where when you punch through walls, which there's a lot of them, where it would sort of bust up in different ways. That way it would look unique each time. And looking back on it, I was thinking, that's a really cool and important development as far as games go. But on the other hand, I feel like the game would have been better if they put more into like the other mechanics than into like this custom script to make that wall fall a specific different way each time.
Right. Man, okay, so if Spider-Man was the setup to the universe, then like Avengers could be the advancement, and then we could get a Fantastic Four game after that, right? And then like we can maybe we could get a Champions game, maybe we could get like a Defenders game. A Defenders game would be amazing. And then maybe
Heroes
somewhere
for
down
Hire.
and then Heroes for Hire game.
It's all DLC.
But
it's
what
all
if
DLCs, but because you have to pay for each character to show up.
But what if the Heroes for Hire game was actually the setup to a Defenders game? That would be great. But then, somewhere down the line, we could get a Young Avengers game. And then the Young Avengers could grow up, and then, I don't know, we could get a game about Hulkling in space or something.
Yeah. I mean,
And get a Guardians of the Galaxy. Get them in there.
I was about to say, yeah, there's never been a Guardians of the... No? Wait.
Yeah, Telltale. There was. I streamed it on this personal channel, and it was great.
Right here on my belt.
Yeah, right here on my... Just a live Guardian on my belt.
Guardian of the Galaxy.
We're great gamers. I love our job.
We've got a... Quill.
What?
You'd be like, okay, Quill.
What?
We've got this thing on this ship.
Yeah?
It's a tunnel boring laser, but it can bore through planets.
That is literally the best thing that a Guardian of the Galaxy can have.
Yes, there's a problem with it though.
What's that?
It doesn't work.
Oh.
I love that moment. I think it was Guardians 2, where they have a ship with like, it's got point defense turrets, but they can all like they're all like, I guess, magnetized like onto the ship or whatever, and they can be pulled towards a center like area where they're focused into one mega beam. So instead of doing point defense, where they shoot down rockets and like do kind of small arms fire, they all focus into one super huge beam that could like cut through like bank vaults and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's how I imagine they were supposed to use it, but like, I wish that got more mileage.
Yeah.
I would like to see that again.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I wish that got more mileage. I mean, like, in more movies. Like, you can't just slap more of that into this.
Going back to the shared universe thing, you could also throw Nova into there. Like, get a whole Nova Core game.
Yes. You know what's funny? While you were pitching the other games, you're like, okay, so we got Spider-Man and the Avengers thing. And we got a Fantastic Four, and I'm like, and then Fantastic Four, you make a mobile game that's Cookie Clicker, but it's like Franklin Ricker, and the whole thing is just continually like getting small things that add up to medium things that add up to big things. That's just what he's doing with his powers. That's like the plot of the game. It's like, look, you can't just go around creating new universes. You have to start with 2 like grains of sand. You press this button, it creates a grain of sand. Oh, hey, that's how that works.
I'd play that.
Frankie Clicker.
Frankie Clicker. You knocked my laundry basket down.
Oh, you silly cat.
No, you did that.
Oh.
The chair, like, knocked against it. You should pull the chair up.
Oh, yeah.
You should pull the chair up so I can have my laundry basket up here and not down here.
Can you push on that?
Yeah. Ugh. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Do you really think Mr. Edgeworth killed him?
I don't believe it. Not Edgeworth. Some painful memory has been troubling him recently. But he never takes someone's life. Never. Or flub a line like I just did. He's way too vampire-y for that.
Here's my other thing, instead of just him like playing with a gun and then it going off, is him getting the guy passing out. Like, say he wasn't as healthy as him and his dad.
Right.
Or maybe the 2 adults passed out and he was okay for a bit.
Right.
He's like, oh, there's not enough air in here, and so he picks up the gun and tries to fire it at the wall, and it ricochets off. Ricochets are... It's weird, because, like, ricochets are a thing that's, like, they're only used in, like, trick shots in movies. They're never, like... No one ever, like, gets hit because they, like, they're in a concrete tunnel and something, like, bounces off and hits them, like, oh, ow, wow, okay, fighting in a concrete tunnel sucks.
They did that in Metal Gear Solid 3 with Ocelot. Like, his main thing was doing trick shots with his revolver.
Yeah, I always imagine there's like just throwing the Captain America's shield. It like bounces off, but it bounces off and then goes up at like a 45-degree angle. It's like, man, that thing does not follow any laws of physics.
Your shield just like does not follow the laws of physics at all.
I love that. It was a thing like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was what Spider-Man said in the Civil War, wasn't it?
It would have had to been Civil War.
Yeah, it was definitely Civil War. Because that's when everyone was fine. Who's that? It's your conscience. We haven't talked in a while. Yeah.
It was kind of dumb, but I also really liked.
What?
It was when Ant-Man tried to get into Tony Stark's armor to sabotage it, and his like smart way of getting him out was just activating the fire suppression system, because the whole thing floods the suit with a bunch of CO2 and just blasts him out.
Oh yeah.
Which I was like, you know, his suit would probably have. I mean, at that version of the suit,
Yeah.
He probably would have a fire suppression system.
Yeah, probably.
He probably learned that after the first one, where he's like, hey, I put a flamethrower on this, but I forgot to put a fire suppression system, so if this thing goes up, it's going up.
Now Larry's here.
Yo, how's everyone doing?
I like that they went out of their way to make sure that his last name was the one that was in the name tag on the dialogue.
I would just call him, but... Wait a minute, so when you talk, it's Phoenix.
When Maya talks, it's Maya.
When
Maya talks, it's Phoenix.
Everyone's Phoenix. When Maya talks, it's Maya.
If everyone is Phoenix, then no one is Phoenix.
Everyone else has their last name, including Larry. I mean, not including, like, Judge, who...
Who's just Judge.
I like the idea that Judge's last name is Judge. You think a judge has ever had the last name Judge.
Is Judge a last name?
Yeah, Judge is a last name.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think that goes back to the old-timey, olden medieval times where people had last names that referred to a job they did.
Yeah, like Smith or
There's a surprising amount of ones. I can name them off. You got Smith, Webster, and Weaver, both going from people
Okay.
who do things.
Okay.
Cooper, someone who makes barrels.
Wait, hang on. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Something that's always bugged me. So like,
Oh, and Fletcher.
so,
Someone who makes arrows.
okay, so like if that's how names work, then like, what does Cummings mean? What did they
Not
do?
all last names work that way.
Why is Cummings the last name? You
I
get,
don't know. Ask Alan.
you know, Pokemon is pretty clever. Ekans, it's like snake backwards. Arbok, that's like cobra backwards. Did you ever think about Muck?
Muck is just... Yeah, it's just Muck. Except without the C.
Yeah, and backwards it's come. That was the joke.
Yeah, but... Anyways. It's just... I totally... To annihilate my train of thought. Yep, Pokemon, I'm just thinking about it. The transcript said...
Muck.
Oh, how the first name is the last name. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just... Oh, Brewer. There's another one.
Yeah.
Occupation that's also last name. I didn't know that Cooper was occupation, but it's someone who makes barrels.
So is St. John like a priest?
That's a good point. I don't know where people would get like the saint last names.
I like Saint last names. They are some of my favorite names.
Lou Jack Saint last name.
Lou Jack Saint last name.
Deacon St. John, Ohio University.
Yeah, did you read that line?
Yo, how's everyone doing? It still baffles me that Haha Clinton Dix is an actual person's name.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Haha,
Haha.
hyphenated. Clinton, hyphen, D-I-X. Haha Clinton Dix.
Haha Clinton Dix. Who is that?
He's a football player of some kind.
That's amazing!
Yeah, Key and Peele kept, like, they did this intro for a sketch where they're like, yeah, some of these guys have really wacky names, and that's what led to their like, now it's like a 4-part sketch of just, like, wacky names. But they'll also, the thing is, they actually got, like, random people to stand in as actual football player names, like Haha So it's just Key and Peele in like different hairpieces and stuff, and they're like Sortless Mime Town, Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict Cumberbatch I love because it's just that's also a person's name.
It's a great name. That's who plays Doctor Strange. Isn't it?
X-Wing at Aliciousness.
Isn't it Benedict
Yes,
Cumberbatch the guy who plays
Cumberbatch. He
that?
played Doctor Strange and one of the Sherlocks, and
I could see him as a Sherlock.
you know what's weird?
What?
Like two Marvel actors have played as Sherlock, but nobody talks about Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock.
Huh.
Probably because Sherlock was with Benedict was a series, whereas the Sherlock movie was kind of there and gone.
Huh.
It's so weird though.
Them's the
They've
breaks.
never made that joke either. There's never been a like that Easter egg where it's like they both remind me of Sherlock Holmes for some reason. Or yeah, that'd be like a thing, like an introduction, like establishing shot of one of Tony Stark's houses or whatever, and then like, who do you think would make a better Sherlock Holmes, Tony or Doc?
That'd be awesome.
Just.
Uh,
Alright. What do you think of my performance today? Seriously, you gotta sign this paper. It tells me what and I'm swooning in the aisles. How am I? Swooning? Me? stuck on an elevator. Right on. Tell me the truth, it was like love at first sight.
Wait, what?
There, bud.
Wait, what?
That doesn't make any sense, Mr.
I think he means like in general, not like her specifically.
Yeah. That, oh, he's got, what is it? You know how we have the egg mouth?
At least I hope
got
that's
this-
what he means,
yeah.
because
You know
if
how we
it's...
have the egg mouth? This is like the, hiding a paper plate in his mouth.
Oh yeah, paper plate mouth.
That's how I do it. Right, Nick?
Huh? Me?
Larry's cursed. No one knows who he's talking to.
Well, maybe my heart skipped a beat or two.
The way the music calms down and he just stares straight at the camera and gets serious.
Yeah.
I think you can do better than that. Come on, I saved Edgeworth in there, dude. Edgy! The edgy boy. Edgeworth.
He's so edgy.
Miles the Egg Edgeworth.
Miles the Egg Edgeworth. Edgeworth Cumberbatch.
Edgeworth Cumberbatch. Jack Marius Stack Fairy Tricks. Deliciousness more goof. Seriously though, y'all gotta check it. It's the East versus West Bowl by Key and Peele. It's like they got like 4 of them now. I've been watching Key and Peele. I'll do that. Okay. You guys be bound before me, yeah, bow before your hero.
Alright, you need to dial it back.
Dial it back there, son.
Today's trial.
Today's dial.
Dial? Don't touch that dial.
Soap can't change the channel.
Larry, what did you say?
Don't touch that dial. Soap can't change the channel.
Because it's soap that's watching?
It's a brand of soap.
It's a brand of... I didn't know Dial was a brand of soap.
It's both a combination of Dial being a brand of soap and also that, like, actual physical dials, like, were sort of faded out for a while.
Huh. Neat. Larry, you really helped out in the trial today.
You did. I got a gift for you. Oh, wow. Soap? You'll like it, and people will like you for using it. You weren't there, Larry. Edgeworth would have been found guilty.
Probably.
Dude, I was just thinking, do you think we're running to Edgeworth again, but as the prosecutor, and the, like, we're just... I feel like we'd have to just make sure we don't cross paths again.
Wait, what? Who?
Us and Edgeworth. Because he's still a prosecuting lawyer, and you're still a defending lawyer. So, like...
Oh, yeah.
Even if you wanted to play it totally clean, like, you could have the defense could just be like, hey, I don't know if I'm gonna get a proper trial here, because y'all, like, had a experience.
Ah.
But seriously, Nick, that boat shop caretaker guy is pretty suspicious. Ain't me off the hook yet. Way to spoil the mood, Larry. Read the room, Larry.
Come on, Larry. God.
Hey, I'm just the guy sitting in the audience, you know? You know, like the peanut gallery, but with butts.
It's like, just cuts to like Buck from Far Cry 3. I'm not playing the game. I'm just a spectator.
But from where I was sitting, Edgy seemed pretty...
Oh,
You really know he's telling the truth about that night? Here's a question, though.
What's the question?
Okay, so, you know how one of the big things about this whole trial was that it's been, like, what is it, like 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
There was, like, a statute of limitations on that, like, on whoever shot Mr. Edgeworth.
Whoever shot the sheriff, but then missed the deputy.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if this rando caretaker guy hadn't shown up and messed all this up, like, it would all all be under the bridge entirely. Like, sure, like, Edgeworth would still need to go to therapy and deal with this kind of thing, but as in he wouldn't be in, like, legal trouble anymore, because, like, not only was it something you did, like, as a kid, but as in, like, it went over the time limit or whatever.
Right. You said Rando, and I thought of Yu Yu Hakusho.
You shot old Rando.
Rando, I'm Rando.
We got a whole different Randos over here. I was going with the fake name that Archer keeps going with.
Oh yeah.
Rando Calrissiano.
I was doing like Rando and Yu Yu Hakusho bridge, where it's like,
Yeah.
I'm Rando.
He shows up and that's the thing.
Yeah.
Nick.
Mom, they done shot old Rando.
Shot old Rando.
I know. I don't know, but what I do know is I'm going to believe in you two until the end, because I'm a Blue Lantern. Dude, I could totally see Phoenix being a Blue Lantern.
Yeah, I can see that. Edgeworth and who else? You want to mean me, right?
Nah, he means me, right? Oh wait, that's you.
Can't be. Nah, he means me. Right, Nick?
If everyone is Larry, then no one is Larry.
Everyone is. Welcome to everyone's favorite game. Everyone is Larry.
Is there anyone here who isn't Larry?
Welcome to Who's Larry is it? Who's Larry anyway?
Whose Larry is it anyway? Yeah, you, Larry.
Not me.
Nah.
But why you, Larry? Huh? Actually, yeah. Why me, Nick? Enough of the silent treatment. Enough of the silent treatment.
I mean, you probably should follow up on that.
Nick? Why do you trust Mr. Edgeworth so much? I mean, he's changed recently, true. When I first met him, he's kind of a jerk, don't you think?
Yeah. You didn't know him back then. Back when he wanted to become a defense attorney.
Is like being a prosecuting attorney like the dark side of this story?
I guess? I don't know. Actually, I think there was a PSP Phoenix Wright game where you played as Edgeworth as a prosecutor, and it was the good guy?
Yeah, you were prosecuting.
Which isn't included in this collection because it's just the main trilogy, but...
Yep. Wait. Was that when you two were classmates?
Yes, in grade school. They saved me. Miles? And Larry. They saved me, and I'll never forget it. That's why I became a defense attorney, you know?
If anything smells, it's usually the butts. When you look at the center of the butts, there's an edge. What? Hey, Larry, what's he talking about? Huh? Oh, sorry, I kind of forgot.
Thanks, Larry.
Okay, out with it. I'm gonna hear the story today, and that's final.
Okay. It's kind of a long story, so hang in there. It was the very end of 3rd grade.
I was working in my lab late that night.
Wait, what? Where are you going with that?
Monster Mash.
Oh yeah! I don't know any other lines except for the chorus. I was on trial, a class trial.
A C-class trial?
A C class? Yes, I was a solid C student, so they put me in the C class where I had a class.
C-class trial with extra C's.
With extra C. It was a double C class trial. Double C plus. You remember, Larry? Spring, end of 3rd grade? A kid in our class got his lunch money stolen.
Lunch money?
Our school was really small.
Really small, you said?
Yeah, very small. You're on trial? Middle Every now I want Maya to start talking about Metal Gears.
No.
Oh, I was gonna say something earlier when we were talking about Metal Gear. My first introduction to that series was actually in Metal Gear Rising, which was great. But there's a scene where Raiden meets a kid named George, and he has this moment where he's like, George, as if he's like remembering another dude named George. I didn't know that George Sears was the name that Solidus Snake used, who like completely mind fucked him in the entirety of the second game. So it really put it into context. And then it was when he was like, "Oh, I'm George," and he was just like, "George."
Me during a history test. George washing machine. George washing machine. Okay.
Great games. Every month, kids would bring in an envelope. Envelope? I don't.
Any kind of elope.
It was just a lope. Any kind of lope. Except the elope. Don't elope in Vegas.
Line.
Elope with money. For lunch from home. Unless you want to elope in Vegas. That's your business. Whatever.
I see.
Anyway, this kid's envelope disappeared with $38 still inside. That's a lot for lunch money.
Just for inflation, that is like $1,000 now.
Oh wait, that would have been like lunch money for the entire month, right? Huh.
Oh, yeah, now that you mention it, I do remember that.
I can see why you'd forget, though. You were out of school that day. Anyway, the envelope had been stolen during PE class. I was coming down with a cold, so I'd skipped PE that day. I was the only one not in class.
So, they thought you did it?
Yeah, the kids in class said I should be put on trial.
Trial?
Yes, Maya, trial. The thing we're talking about.
What do you mean we should go there? Rada, what do you mean stop repeating what you say?
So the next day, we held a classroom trial with me as the defendant.
Defendant?
Yes, the defendant.
Is there any school hilarious?
I didn't do it. Are you... Doga?
Oh, I wasn't ready for...
I was not either. I was in the middle of trying to figure out which one of us was... You should be allowed to give me my 50 cents.
Now, Phoenix, you know you shouldn't steal people's money. Stop lying.
In the end, even the teacher thought I had done it.
Go over and apologize. But I don't got the $38 though.
I spent it all on gambling. I didn't know what was happening. Oh, I was so sad. I couldn't stop crying. Everyone was staring at me like I'd done it. I tried to apologize. I went to where the boy whose money had been stolen was sitting. That's when it happened.
Let's see.
That's
He shouldn't have to apologize. The only thing that belongs in this in a trial is evidence. And maybe some podiums. Anything else has no place.
podiums are nice.
You should all be ashamed. Amateurs. Miles? That's not a very good name.
Oh, he looks like Phoenix. What? Wait, what? What's not a very good name?
What's your name? Miles? That's not good enough. Your new name is Vapor Pyro Winkleschmidt.
uh.
Hold on. I'm trying to think of young Edward. It wasn't you who stole my money, was it?
No.
You shouldn't apologize. Everyone's been shouting you did it. There's no one that has any proof. And why, Your Honor, this boy is innocent. But Miles, it was your money that was stolen. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we don't. We're don't.
You want to shut up? This is how it is. Everyone ganging up and picking on one person. Just think how he feels. Said he didn't do it, so he didn't do it.
On a,
Class trial is over.
on a teacher's salary, just cuts to like Batman on a teacher's salary. Do you not know that reference? It was I think it was a movie, an animated movie. Yeah, I think it was the one where Supergirl showed up. They like broke his computer or something, the back computer, and like at the end of it, Batman was like, "You owe me a new computer," and he was like, "Yeah, I'll pay you back," and he goes, "On a reporter's salary."
Remember how I said that like only 50% of the golden Fort Knox is real?
That's how it happened. After that, the three of us were the best of friends. Best of friends. Oh, Maya's crying.
This game, but narrated by was it Bill Wirtz, the guy who does the like history of the world, where it's like the sun.
Oh yeah, I like that dude.
How did this happen?
Can we go up to the surface? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser. Oh, okay. What was that one with like the water and the egg? I can never remember how that one goes. I can never remember how the thing with the water and the egg goes. It's like you use more water.
Who are the Temple Kings? Merchants, probably.
Merchants, probably. It was a great video.
I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea. I mean, I forgot.
That's when I learned what it meant to be alone. Totally alone without a friend in the world. It was so horrible.
You did a good thing, Larry. Yeah, well, I was just lucky that I took the day off from school. If I'd have been there, they would have thought I'd done it.
Oh yeah, because it was the next day.
So, I took it kind of personally, you see.
Something smells. It's usually the butts.
That phrase exists when it was never his fault.
I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Circumstantial evidence. After the trial. Anyway, Edgeworth and I talked after that class trial. That's when I heard his father was a defense attorney. I remember his eyes would shine when he talked about his father.
I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my father. A famous defense attorney.
Then
I changed my name to Miles Defensio.
Then, a few months later, he suddenly transferred to another school.
The DO6.
Yes. Right, I'm not sure, but the transfer probably had to do with his father's death. It was several years later when I heard Edgeworth's name again. There was an article about him in the newspaper. The headline was something like, "Dark Suspicions of a Demon Attorney." Fabricating evidence, manipulating testimonies, covering up facts. The article said he'd do anything to get a guilty verdict. Anything. Including... Never mind.
No, we're not going back to that. I told you. But why? What happened? I mean, that's not the Edgy I used to know at all.
That's what I thought too. I tried to get in touch with him, I don't know how many times. Never replied.
I guess he didn't want to see his old friends.
I couldn't just drop it though. I wanted to meet him, so... I wanted to meet him to learn why he had become who he became. That's when I decided.
Wait, you don't mean that's why you became a defense attorney? To meet Edgeworth?
If I was a defense attorney, I knew he'd have to meet me whether he wanted to or not. In court.
You went to law school for that?
I mean... Edgeworth believed in me, and I believe in him. He's in pain, and no one's on his side.
Well, at least he took this route and not like, yes, I went and committed a bunch of crimes until he was the prosecutor.
I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him.
Whoa. that why you helped me out for free?
Yes. I helped you because I believed in you. Except I don't remember saying I do it for free.
Oh, Nick. Nick. Dun, 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 dun. Nick. Wake up from your MGS joke. Just name Mr. Edgeworth. We have to save Mr. Edgeworth. It's the last thing we do, okay?
Right. And very well, maybe.
First, there's that rental boat shop caretaker spaghetti guy. We find out who or what he is. I have this theory where he's a series of gnomes in a big coat.
I think he's an ex-special agent. And I don't know why, but I feel like he probably fought mutants at some point.
Alright. It's your line.
For Far Cry. It was first Far Cry.
Bro, I know nothing about the first and second.
I know, but I've told you about it.
Yeah, but I don't know it from experience.
Well, neither do I, and I probably never will, because I don't think I'm ever going to play it. I might play the second one at some point.
Just...
I'd settle for who? I guess I can clean out some of this evidence I no longer need. Okay,
oh, yeah,
let's
throw
go.
away those glass shards.
It was always the glass shards. Alright, Larry Boyo. I guess... Move to... Actually, I think this is a good place to call it a night.
I think it is.
So...
Hey, thank you everyone for, wait, did you say yes or no on that?
Oh, I said yes, didn't I?
Yeah, yes.
Don't scare me like that.
Thank you so much for joining us on this internet's video.
Interwebs. Hello.
Yeah, we had a pretty good time. I think we learned a lot about Edgy Boy and where he has come from. I'm very surprised that I ended up being correct about the thing with that he might have like shot his own dad and then didn't forget or kind of forgot.
Yeah.
Which means that the old man in this situation is just there. I don't know. So.
Yeah. I don't know why, but this makes me think of Naruto for some reason.
Lots of anime twist.
Yeah. Well, it's like it reminds me like specifically of the parts of Naruto that talk about like Naruto as a kid when he was hanging out with Shikamaru and other people. Cause like for as lonely as Naruto was within the series, he did have kind of a friendship with like Shikamaru and Choji, and I think Kiba too. They hung out when they were like all kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But
everyone got all rude to him.
yeah. Well, Shikamaru never really got rude with him, I don't think. He was just... I think it was more as case of, like, he couldn't keep up with them, and they just kind of lost touch with him. I think was what it came down to. But, I like Shikamaru.
So, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Taylor.
I've been Lou Jack.
Remember, everybody, take care.
Stay awesome.
Have a beautiful day.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.